Web of Lies, the truth unveiled. The town was suffocating, its air thick with deception. John had spent years navigating its web of lies, the whispers of falsehood mutating around him like a disease. It was as if the very fabric of his world had been woven from deceit, and the people within it had become immune to their own dishonesty. For years, John had suspected the truth but had chosen to turn a blind eye. His neighbors, colleagues, and even his own family existed within a carefully curated illusion, each lie reinforcing the next. There were those who had mastered the art of deception, pathological liars who believed their own fabrications. He had to escape. He had tried to resist their pull, but the sheer weight of their falsehoods was unbearable. Everywhere he turned, the lies thickened, a web spun so intricately that he could barely see a way out. His own neighbors had been lying to him, his so-called friends masking their treachery behind forced smiles. Secrets festered beneath polite conversation, ambitions rooted in deception and betrayal. It was no longer a question of trust, it was survival. The moment of realization struck him like a cold wind. He had been part of an experiment, a test subject in a grand deception. His entire life had been a fabrication, the foundation of his reality crumbling beneath him. He had to get out before the web closed in entirely. John knew the liars thrived in chaos, feeding off manipulation, drama, and misdirection. He had watched them mutate over time, their deception evolving in extreme circumstances. It was their nature to twist the truth, to distort reality until it bent to their will. But he refused to be a pawn in their game any longer. The more he observed, the more he saw the cracks in their performance. He could see the lies in their eyes, in the nervous twitch of their fingers, in the hesitation before their words left their lips. He was no longer blind to their deceit. Determined, John made his decision. He would leave it all behind: the fake friends, the manipulative family, the toxic community. He would forge a new path, one built on truth and authenticity. He had wasted too much time surrounded by people who only sought to deceive and destroy. But the liars weren't willing to let him go so easily. He had become a threat. His refusal to conform made him dangerous in their eyes. The whispers grew louder, accusations and falsehoods aimed to discredit him. They had gone as far as to lie to authorities, filing false reports in an attempt to keep him trapped in their world. But John had proof. He had collected their secrets, their misdeeds, and their betrayals. Now, it was their turn to be exposed. The authorities had been reluctant at first, hesitant to believe someone who claimed an entire community had been built on deceit. But the evidence was undeniable. The very people who had laughed at his downfall were now the ones under scrutiny. Their lies had finally caught up to them. As the legal system closed in, the reality of their situation became apparent. Some faced charges for perjury, others for fraud. The very foundation of their fabricated lives was collapsing beneath them. Their lies, once a source of power, had become the chains that bound them. John stood at the edge of town, watching as justice took its course. He had done what no one else dared to do. He had stood against the liars and exposed their treachery. He had chosen truth over deception, freedom over imprisonment. He took a deep breath and walked away, leaving behind the town and its tangled web of lies. For the first time in his life, he was free.